Oh hi. Ijevan, the city. Till 1951, the settlement. In Armenia, the administrative center of the Tavish region. It is located at a foot of the Ijevan ridge on both river banks Akstav. From the east to the city spurs of Mayaporsky Mountains, and from the west ridge Gugarats rise. These are the mountains with soft outlines entirely covered with the woods. A part of the city is located on slopes of these mountains, another in rather flat valley of the Akstav River. Across this valley there passed one of ancient tradeways of Armenia and Transcaucasia. Ijevan is in the place where the mountain Akstav River leaves the gorge and becomes quiet. At the end of spring and at the beginning of summer the Akstav floods banks, often changing the course, sometimes causing considerable destructions. During downpours the Akstav in several minutes turns into a rough and dangerous flow. So was, for example, in 1931, 1933, 1940. The flow pulled up century trees with roots, rolled huge splinters of rocky breed with a diameter up to 4-5 m. There was even a case when the insignificant small river, having raged, has broken and has demolished the iron bridge. In the neighborhood of the city there is rather large amount of minerals. There are fields of marble, limestone, dolomite, clays, agate. Ijevan was called Northeast Gate of the Republic. Through it there passed the automobile highway from Yerevan to Tbilisi and Baku. Yerevan, the Kazakh. In Soviet period being the major artery connecting Armenia with other republics. But for today time the road connects only with Georgia. The climate is warmer and softer here than in Diligen. Average annual temperature is about 10 C. Frosts lower than -15 happen seldom, the average temperature of January +2 C. Snow drops out every year, but the steady cover is formed time in several years. Warm summer. Average temperature of August about 23 C, rainfall drops out up to 563 mm a year. It is located in the Jorapor area of the province of Gagurkov, historical Armenia. In the Middle Ages there was a fortress Kayanhai here. That is transferred from Armenian as the parking. It is based as the village Caravanserai. The Turkmen. Caravanserai, the parking, a stop. In the 18th century, has been renamed into Ijevan in 1961. Both names, both Turkic and Armenian, mean inn. Through vicinities of modern Ijevan the large road of trade caravans on which there was an inn, Inochevia, in Armenian Ijevan ran. Researchers have shown that this ancient Ijevan was in 10 km to the south from the modern city, on the left river bank Akstav, where to this day remains of an ancient bath have remained. In the 14th century in Ijevan emigrant movements have begun to be formed. The most known is the village of Chaykend, Yetishan, which population was created from natives from Ijevan and Diligen. Near 1604-1605 during Great Exile, the population of Caravanserai has been partially cut, partially stolen during the Persian-Turkish War. At the end of the 18th century, inhabitants of vicinities found the new settlement on the place of the modern city, which population begins to be replenished gradually at the expense of immigrants from Nagorno-Karabakh and several villages of the Yerevansky Khanate. On November 29, 1920, Caravanserai has been occupied by the Armenian Bolsheviks by means of forces of the Soviet Azerbaijan and the 11th Red Army. It has officially been proclaimed that in Caravanserai there was a revolt of workers against the Dashnaksky government, as a result of which the Revolutionary Committee, which has asked for the help brotherly Soviet Russia, is created. In the house where the Revolutionary Committee was located, in Soviet period, the Historico-Revolutionary Museum has been arranged. To the telegraph, on which the telegram of the chairman of a Revcom of Armenia S. Kasin Leninu about establishment in Armenia has been transferred to the Soviet power, was stored in a separate box. At Krivo Bridge through the Akstov, on which the city was entered by the 11th Red Army, then the hydroelectric power station has been constructed. In the 1950th years, Caravanserai was Peremenovin to Ijevan. In 1956, Ijevan becomes the urban-type settlement, in 1961, the city, and in 1970, the city of Republican subordination. In 1964, natural gas has been carried out to Ijevan. In 1831, 440 inhabitants, in 1873, 1016, in 1897, 1790, in 1926, 2261, in 1939, 4426, in 1959, 7639, in 1976, 15006, in 1989, 18700, in 2001, 20223 inhabitants lived. On materials of an agricultural population census of 1922 across Armenia, in the city the number of Armenians made 2171 persons and Russians -1. In total -2172 persons. The food industry has been provided in due time in the city by the cheese-making plant, which produced cheese, oil, ice cream, fermented milk products. In the Ijevan district, fruit growing and partly wine growing have been developed. Besides, the woods were rich with wild-growing fruit. Pear, apple tree, sweet cherry, cornel, cherry plum, medlar. All this has formed a good basis for creation in Ijevan of cannery. But today the given plants are destroyed and are in a non-working state. In the city, the mechanical plant, carpet and bentonite plants, which also are today in a non-working state, worked. The Ijevan carpet plant was the largest in Transcaucasia and third largest in the Soviet Union. The only enterprises which are still continuing the activity are woodworking and winemaking plants. Near Ijevan and Dilijan, more than 20 sources of mineral water function, and every year here produce 15-20 million bottles of mineral water. Through the city there passes the highway Yerevan-Tbilisi. Distance to Yerevan on the highway -142 km. Instead of the side passing across the territory of Azerbaijan for communication with Georgia, the new section of the highway Ijevan-Bagration is built. The branch line Yerevan, the Kazakh acts on the site Razdan only to the station Ijevan. The northeast of the Republic, in particular the Ijevan district, long since was famous for the Masterkavrodolami. The carpets of carpeta weaved by them, herdzina, are allocated with rich colors and a subtlety of the drawing. Fine samples of ancient Ijevan carpets are exhibited at the State Historical Museum of Armenia. The Historical and Ethnographic Museum works in the city. To Soviet period, the city was represented by the bentonite team, by the name of plant which possessed team. Having spent one season in 1990, the team was disbanded. At the beginning of 2007 the team has been revived, now by the former football player, and nowadays the businessman David Davtyan, which put large-scale plans. But having played 2 matches in A Cup and several friendly matches, the team was disbanded because of the fast end of financing. In the city there is an Armenia stadium constructed in 2007. It is used now mainly for football matches. In 2008 at Armenia Stadium there has taken place the final of A Cup of Armenia on soccer between Ararat and Banats. Near stadium the mini field for training occupations is located. Sites: Sarcophagus Chapel, 2008. Famous natives: Nikol Pashinyan. Twin Cities: France Valens, France. Paris Nikea, Gretsy. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.